Welcome to the Stage Code podcast with Paris and Beck.
This podcast is all about bodybuilding, raw and unfiltered, from off-season to stage day and everything in between. Hi guys, and welcome to episode 8 of the Stage Code podcast. Nearly at 10 episodes.
Yeah, wow,
I feel like that's a
crazy.
milestone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, definitely.
That's
When we
pretty
get there.
Yeah, soon. Not there yet.
Soon.
But yeah, we'll jump straight into our highs and lows as
Yes.
usual. I've got a pretty good high this week. My sister got engaged, which was so exciting.
So exciting.
I knew that he had a ring, but I didn't know when it was going to happen. And guys, I think I'm psychic. Because I said to Matt, and I also said it to my mum, I was like, because I knew they were away the weekend just gone, and I was like, imagine if she's gotten engaged. I was like, why do I just have, I just had this feeling,
right? Yeah.
I just had this sense come over me, and I was like, she's just gonna, and I said it exactly how she kind of did it. Like, she just rocked up and kind of put her hand on the table and was like doing a little side look.
Oh,
I'm like, I'm convinced I'm psychic.
Yeah.
And I always predict movies and stuff. I predict the endings and stuff. So I think I've got some sort of ability,
love that.
which is really cool.
Use it to your advantage.
But yeah, it was so exciting. I'm so happy for her. It was so sweet. I was getting a little teary because he took a video of when he picked up the ring.
Oh,
And
I love that.
he was like, he was saying to himself oh, I hope you don't message me because I'm still an hour, or I hope you don't get home early from work because I'm literally in the city CBD and I won't be home for 2 hours.
Oh,
and then she'll
that's so
wonder
cute.
where he is.
Yeah.
She was a bit stressed about it, but
Oh.
yeah, I'm so excited, so happy for her.
Yes,
for my brother-in-law,
congratulations.
Zach. I love you
Yeah.
just as much, so I'm happy for both of you.
Yeah, that's so exciting.
Yeah, it was really cool. And then my low would be I'm just feeling a little bit not motivated at the moment. Just I think because prep's not moving as fast as I would like it to.
Yeah.
So I think that's just my low. This week and a little bit of last week, I'm just feeling a little bit of lack of motivation, which you kind of don't want to feel a lack of motivation this early on in prep.
No.
I'm still doing all the things.
I was going to say, this is the
because
thing,
I'm
right?
disciplined.
Yeah, exactly, right? There's such a big difference. Normally that low motivation comes in, halfway point kind of thing. But when it's this early on, you should be like, fuck yeah. But also, like you said, it's the fact that there's not
There's progress, but it's
but
just my
small.
body's just not doing
It's
what I
being
want
a
it
right
to do.
turd.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
But
It's
Yeah.
it's just, I think it's also frustrating because my first prep was perfect.
Yeah.
Everything just went amazing.
Yeah.
We didn't have to kind of take out any foods or anything like that. I wasn't really having any digestive issues.
Yeah.
So it's just a little bit internally frustrating.
Yeah.
But I know that it will happen and the motivation will come back. I'm
Yeah.
not, being oh,
I'm not going to
doing
do this.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But it's just a little bit of a lull in motivation, but it'll come back.
It'll come. Yeah,
Yeah.
you'll be fine. Once it kind of starts to move along, you'll be sweet. But it is frustrating though when I think the thing as well is that in your off season, we use the term hard gainers and hard losers because we pushed your calories high and your weight was quite stable.
It kind of gets to its highest, which is around 72.5 sort of, and then it won't go any further.
Yeah,
which
no
is
matter
a
how
good
much
thing.
we push. Yeah, exactly, which is
But
so good.
kind of not a good thing when you want to grow
Then
muscle.
it's the opposite,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, exactly. We want to grow muscle, but at the same time, when it's generally when you're a hard gainer, it also means you're a hard loser too. So it kind of takes that little bit to kind of push and really, we kind of have to either drop calories quite a decent amount or I think we were at, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe 2,800 calories in off season.
I think we got just under.
2.7.
I think we got just under 3 at some point.
Yeah.
When we pushed really hard. It wasn't for a long period of time though.
Yeah, it was just that kind of let's just really try and push and then
Yeah.
we're going to. So that comparatively to have we talked about your calories and stuff like that?
Where they're at.
Yeah.
I haven't shared recently.
Yeah.
Because it's an individualization.
Yeah,
but we'll just say that.
I'll just say it's roughly 1,700 now, 1,750.
Yeah.
So that's just to show that how drastic it can be, and doesn't really matter what happens in the off season. Unfortunately, how high the calories do get. Obviously, it's good. We don't want to start at a low point at prep, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the prep's going to be any easier just because your calories got really high as well.
Yeah. Well, do you want to jump into your high and low, and then I can do a
Yes,
quick
actually,
we kind of talked about prep, but
update. But
we'll go into it a little bit more. But do you want to do your high?
My high would definitely be my best friend's wedding on the weekend. That was the most funnest time. It was
We were
just
surrounded by a bit of love this
I
weekend.
mean, we were, weren't we? People getting engaged, people getting married. No, it was so
Not us
special.
yet.
Yeah, not us, yeah. Although,
Wink, wink. No, I'm kidding.
Lord, I got it asked at least 20 million times. Or Jamie, actually. It was like and I was like, "Oh,
That's
like
like poor Matt now that
I
my
know,
sister's
hey,
engaged.
yeah.
Oh, so
When are you
like
gonna"
in my sisters, my brother-in-law. Oh, Matt, like
Yeah, yeah,
when are you doing it?
immediately, yeah. So it just puts that pressure on.
Yeah.
It's so funny. But yeah, so it was really good. Like it was the ceremony. It was just her family, and then me. I was the only like friend, which
Yep.
I mean, I'm pretty much her family. So
Privilege.
I'm like I was telling Jamie like he was meeting, the family and stuff like that. And I was like, this is literally my second family.
Yeah,
Like
tell me you're the favorite with that. Tell me you're
yeah,
the favorite.
literally. But no, she looked absolutely stunning. She didn't cry or anything. I'm sobbing like an absolute crazy person, and then because I cried, my makeup went all weird and, like, my wrinkles like, my makeup went into my wrinkles even more because I'd cried. Anyway, it was a whole thing. But even, like, the trip there was, like, brutal because we had to go so it was in Bathurst, right? And so from where I am, you'd normally go, like, along the highway and everything, and part of the highway was shut, so we had to go, like, the back way,
Of
and
course.
it took, like, 4.5 hours and just with traffic and getting stuck behind caravans. So that was a whole kinda thing. I was like, am I gonna be able to, like, get there and change, like, in my dress and everything?" Anyway, it was
Also,
fine.
did you drive the day
We
of
drive the
the
day
wedding? Yeah,
yeah,
see, that's always,
exactly.
like, scary,
It
isn't
was
it?
risky, yeah. So, anyway, but that was a bit of a I was just so stressed about getting there, and then, it was
Once you're
fine.
there.
Once I'm there, it was fine. But, yeah, so, but no, she looked amazing. She's, like, a very, like, she doesn't like attention or anything like that, and she, um her husband, Brendan, made a speech and everything, and then, she gets her piece of paper out, and I turned to my friend and I was like, "No fucking way she's about to talk. No way, absolutely not." Anyway, she just opens up the thing. I'm pretty sure it was completely blank. She just goes, "Thanks for coming," and then puts it back and walks away, and I was like, "Okay, that makes more sense."
True to her.
Yeah, she was like, no, she was freaking out so hard about, like, doing the actual vows and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, she did amazing. She looked amazing, and yeah, it was so good. They had, like, a pizza van, so instead of, like, a sit-down meal, it was just,
Mm.
like, come around and, like, you get given pizza, and it was the best thing I've ever had. And then they
Nice.
had these cannolis for, like, the cake,
Oh,
but wasn't a cake. Oh,
you're
I shouldn't
teasing
be
me.
I shouldn't be telling you this, sorry.
I'm just
It was
picturing
so
pizza in my
good.
brain.
Yeah, it was such a good idea because it wasn't that whole awkward sit down, like, definitely a
Yeah.
vibe, so
Like, "Oh, sorry, I don't want the chicken, I want the fish," or, "I don't want the
yeah,
beef, I
like
want the chicken." Yeah.
yeah, but no, it was so good. And then, um, yeah, I would say yeah, so that's definitely the high. I'm gonna say my low is just moving house. So I got the keys on the
Mm.
Thursday, which we recorded last week, and then went to the wedding on Friday, came back Saturday, moved a little bit of stuff on the Sunday, got the truck on the Monday to move the big stuff, did like the gardening on Tuesday. Today is Wednesday, so the local place is getting cleaned. It's just like one thing after
Yeah.
another. And I leave tomorrow for
It
Hamilton
takes, like,
Island.
2 weeks to feel, like, settled
Oh
or
yeah, for
even
sure.
more, like, if you're slow. Like, it's hard. You're working, like, you almost wanna have, like, a week off just to
Just to get
smash
it in,
everything
yeah,
out. Yeah.
exactly, and then it's all, like, the whole setup of, like, the internet and stuff like that, and, like, the dogs, they're
Yeah.
so unsettled and stuff, and then we're about to leave them for, like, 5 nights, and I feel so bad. Oh, like, we have someone house sitting and everything, but
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe
It was
this."
hard when I moved with Iggy, like,
Yeah.
they're confused.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
they eventually settle, but they're
yeah,
just like, "Where am I? Why
yeah,
aren't I
what is
going back?
happening?
Why am I
Yeah,
sleeping here?" Like,
yeah,
yeah.
and new environment, new smells, new all the
Yeah.
things, so but anyway, they'll be fine. Just waking us up at, like, 4 AM, barking their
Mm.
brains out.
Love that.
They're sausage dogs, they're like,
Gonna get
they
kicked
do
out
that.
of the rental
I know,
already
that's
for
what I was like,
barking
"Oh,
dogs.
we're the" yeah, I'm like, we come and disrupt the neighborhood with the
Yeah.
fucking dachshunds, but anyway, no, they'll be right, they'll settle eventually.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna say that's my high though. I go on holidays tomorrow, so that's a win.
Oh, yeah, nice. Well, we'll
Yeah,
hear all about that next week.
yeah, we will definitely.
Jealous.
Yeah.
I'm doing nothing for the
Yeah.
next
For
4
the next
months.
yeah, I was gonna say until
But yeah, going to a little prep update, we kind of spoke a little bit. Like, obviously, I'm just feeling a little bit of a lull with lack of motivation, but things are still moving. Like, I did have a slight drop. And then it'll be a little bit harder this week. I'm probably not going to weigh myself for the rest of the week until I do my check in, just
yeah,
because I'm due for my period like right now.
yeah, it'll mess with your
So
brain.
yeah, and then I'll just be more disappointed. Then that will lead to me having less motivation. Then I'll just get all in my own head,
Yeah.
which I do all the time. Um, but we had a slight calorie drop. Again, just really slight, just to keep things moving. And it's not to say that I won't potentially, like, I might potentially keep having these big drops and then Beck can go, oh, we can do a little refeed. Like,
Yeah.
it's not to say that I'm just going to keep going down, 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 down. Like, we might be able to do refeeds and carb ups and all
Yeah.
the
Oh, yeah, we'll
things
definitely be doing that.
potentially.
It's more about just getting to the point where your body's like, "Oh, okay,
Yeah.
I better actually do what I need to do and
Yeah.
decrease body fat. But
Yeah.
like I said, it is working, but we just want it to just get that little bit more
Yeah.
momentum going, and then you'll be sweet.
And we had a little increase in cardio, but the cardio I'm doing isn't strenuous, super high intensity cardio. It's like I'm doing a lot of it, but it's super chill. Like
Yeah,
I'm just doing incline walks, so it's like easy
yeah,
breezy. And then obviously steps are on top of that.
yeah,
So I'm doing just 10,000 steps a day, which again, that's pretty chill.
yeah.
I do work an office job, so it can be a little bit hard, but I've actually got a walking pad at work, so that's been my saving grace.
So good.
Um, but yeah, I'll be 15 weeks out. I think I'm 15 weeks
Yeah,
out.
I feel like that too. Also, I think I just to kind of, I guess, preface, and I'm pretty sure we talked about it at the start, but it's more of like the body's response to the high intensity as to why we've switched it to the low intensity. And again, that's very individualized specific. Like
And
there's
it
no,
could change.
and
Like,
it could change
yeah.
exactly. But we just found that yeah, I think the body was just not responding at all at the start when we were doing the step off. We're like, okay, let's bring it back a little bit, try to kind of decrease it. But yes, that does unfortunately mean that we have to just do more of it because we still want that total calorie amount to be at that higher
Mm.
expenditure. So
But
yeah.
honestly, I would rather do 3 hours of incline walking. Not that I'm doing that, I'm just saying in
Yeah.
generalized. Like, I would rather do 10 hours of incline walking than 5 hours of the Stairmaster.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, it's
totally.
so much easier. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, I'm still getting a bit hot. Like, I don't put the fan on or anything. I
Yeah.
always ask people around me, I'm like, "Can I turn the fan off?"
Yeah, no, I hate that.
'Cause then I'm not getting like, my heart rate struggles to get a bit
Yeah.
higher and stuff like that.
Also, the
And
fans are aggressive.
I've actually noticed that my heart rate I'm actually having to go a little bit faster
Yeah.
already and a little bit more of an incline to get my heart rate up there,
Yeah,
which is kind
good.
of a good thing 'cause it
Yeah.
means, like, I'm getting fitter, I'm
Yeah.
getting better at it, so but yeah, I'd much rather do incline walk, so I'm happy days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even if it
I'm
takes
dreading when
hours on
we
the step up.
get the check-in and she goes, "Okay, Stairmaster
Yeah,
this week."
we're gonna try
Mm.
it. Yeah.
But yeah, so today we're gonna talk about not making it to
Ooh,
stage.
dun dun dun.
Which I haven't had experience with yet, hopefully
Yeah,
won't have
hopefully
experience
never.
with that,
Touch
but
wood.
Beck
Yeah.
is gonna talk a little bit about
Yeah,
her
definitely can.
experience.
Yeah. I don't even know where to start, hey, like, I feel
Why don't you
like
go through, like, that point when the pain like, when you're in prep and then
yeah.
kinda that point when you were like, something's not quite right."
Yeah, yeah. So, I started prep for season A, I wanna say, or maybe C, I can't remember which season it was. Anyway, um, there must have been season C. I started prep and I'll be fully honest, I don't really truly remember how long I was in pain for because when you're in prep, and this is I'm gonna say my lesson that I've learnt so y'all can, maybe learn the same lesson, or you can just listen to me when I told you the lesson that I've learnt is yeah, so when you're in prep, you're just so focused on what you gotta do, right? Like, you're ticking the boxes, you're doing your steps, you're doing your cardio, you're doing your training, and that's kinda
Mm,
it.
sorry to interject.
No, you
I
go.
just thought I would quickly ask,
Yeah.
before you started prep, were you, like you were healthy, you like, was there anything to suggest that there could be a potential injury there, or you felt like you were at a good place?
I have not. I can't actually
You really
remember
don't recall,
because
yeah.
I'm pretty sure that the issue started before I entered prep.
Okay, yeah.
But whether I realized that it was actual pain, or whether I just thought it was like a bit of tightness or a bit of,
Mm,
whatever,
yeah,
right? So I'll go through the actual injury that I had so it kind of makes a little bit more sense. So
yeah.
I had stress fractures in both of my hips, right? So bilateral stress fractures. And it was in I believe it was in the neck of the femur. So you've got, like, your femur bone, and then you've got this is, like, the neck of the femur, right? So it's in a very, like in pretty much a really important place that if it was to become fractured, and so break, it would kinda just, like, shatter, and then I'd have, 2
Surgery
yeah,
and
2,
yeah.
like, total hip replacements and everything, so pretty severe. But because it was stress fracture, it happens over time. So what has kinda happened and look, honestly, that I've had no proper, I guess, understanding of what has actually happened. It's just kinda me piecing the puzzles together a
Yeah,
little
okay.
bit,
Mm,
piecing the puzzle together. Because really the doctors don't really care about how it happened. They're just like, "Okay, this is what it is. This is how
yeah.
you fix it," right? So
And it's
kind
not
of
like a, "Oh, you fell over and broke your arm"
no,
type
yeah,
situation.
exactly, yeah, it wasn't a thing that actually happened. So I'm gonna say in the last prep that I did, like the previous prep to when I was injured, in the last couple of weeks, I was very determined to drop a little bit more body fat, and I was ready to go, right? So I was like, let's just
I know
absolutely
what
go
she's about to
ham.
say.
Everyone's like,
Because when
yes,
she
what
told me this, I
content?
was like, "What the?"
Yeah, yeah. So I went ham on it, right? So I had started running instead of doing the step up. Now, when you're obviously towards, say, for example, like 5 or maybe 6 to 5 weeks out ish. I just had a bit of a understanding of what's happened. Anyway, I was like, "Oh,"
She's
it's like
just
a
now
little bit of
realized.
light bulb moment. So what had actually happened was, this is probably a lot of information, but my partner at the time, his dad actually passed away, and we had to go to, so he lives out in, like, kind of rural New South Wales, right? So to go back and forth and stuff like that and get my cardio in and my training in and all that kind of stuff, it was a lot to kind of, I had to travel like 40 minutes or something. And at that time when, you're sorting through all that kind of stuff,
Mhm.
you're doing a lot. You don't like, I just kind of wanted to just get my cardio done
Get it
around, right?
done.
So I
Yeah.
just started to run. I just ran around with go, like in the coldness of that. And I think that that's kind of where the running part started, right? So that's
Mm.
kind of where the running started. And then so in those kind of final weeks, I had realized that that had actually changed my body a little bit, right? I looked a lot leaner, I looked a little bit drier, like it just kind of responded really well to my body. So I was like, great, let me try that, right? So and obviously I talked to my coach about it and everything like that. I was like, yeah, sweet, let's try that. And then what happened was in between, so my state show, New South Wales, in between my state show and my national
Nationals.
show, I I wanted to lose a little bit more weight, right? We had a little bit of a goal to kind of drop however much and try and get to a certain weight. And I stupidly, really stupidly,
Don't try this at
do
home.
not try this at home. This is me being a psychopath. Um, Tried to run, I think
Wasn't it like
it was
10K?
like I had a goal to run 100 kilometers. So it was 10K a
Which
day
is
for
so
10
funny because if
days.
I said that to you, you would be like,
I'd be
"Not
like, no
happening.
fucking
You're an
chance.
idiot."
You are so
Yeah.
stupid, right? So obviously,
Practice what you preach
but
or
yeah, that would have been a good idea. But this is the thing, right? This is why you need a coach,
yeah.
because
And prep messes with your
it
mental
messes with your
state.
brain and you think that you are fucking invincible. You think you
Mm.
can do anything because you've done anything, right? Like
Yeah.
you've done whatever it is that you needed to do. So that was my stupid first mistake, right? Again, remembering that when we are in prep, we are quite depleted. That's like obviously given. So especially with females, once we start to lose our menstrual cycle and all that kind of stuff. Think about also, I'll be fully transparent. My calories when I'm in prep have to get quite low to get super lean. So I'm sitting at around 1,000 calories a day, which is fucking wild, right?
Not recommended.
Not recommended. Again,
She's
this
just
is
talking from
like
personal
this
experience.
is very extreme. And my coach is amazing. He's great. And I was like, yes, let's push, right? Like, so I was also the driving factor here to say, let's just fucking go. I
Mhm.
had 10 days left of prep, right? So anyway, so just keep that all of that in mind, right? So overall energy expenditure is very, very sorry. Yes, energy expenditure is really high, energy intake is really low. That leads to a low what's called an energy availability. So any kind of energy that our body is available to, right? Excessive amounts of this is leads to something called REDS, which is a syndrome that particularly women can get, that results if under like a long period of time that results in something that called low bone mineral density. So it decreases your bone mineral density because you're overworking too much. So this happens quite frequently in people with like anorexia or any like bulimia or anything like that.
Even like a lot of like marathon
Oh yeah,
runners or like
massive in
ultra
that.
athletes and things like that, it can
Yeah,
happen to
yeah.
them.
So think about how tiny they are. They obviously are expending a lot of energy. Um, so anyway, so this is all kind of happening, right? And at the time, it was fine. Like I was absolutely fine. I had it was like the 7th day or something of me trying to run 10Ks. Um,
I remember seeing you on the treadmill
yeah, yeah,
going at it, and I'm
yeah.
thinking,
What the fuck is she doing? Everyone was like, "Should you be running?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's fine."
yeah.
I started with a little niggle in it was like my ankle or something, and I couldn't really run much after that. So I just, okay, I'll just be normal and go on the step machine for like the last 3 days or something like that. Anyway, so that was fine. Whatever. Did my show, place, and everything. So in my mind, I'm like totally worth it. Absolutely not. So I come out of prep, and I obviously, me being me, I put on a decent amount of weight pretty quickly. But during this time, I thought it would be a good idea to keep running. So to keep trying to run, right?
So you Like, were you doing that so you wouldn't gain weight as fast? Or
Um,
you were doing it more just to stay fit?
you know what? Kind of a bit of everything. So I
Yeah.
loved it. I loved the feeling of it. I yes, I definitely obviously was trying to counteract that,
Yeah.
gaining weight. Like I think I remember my coach being like, the
Probably, like,
more that you run,
subconsciously as
yeah,
well. Yeah.
absolutely. I remember him like the more cardio you do, the more that you're like everything's gonna kind of it's just not gonna work, right? You're chasing your tail and it's just not gonna be so
Yeah.
anyway. And then also it was yeah, the what did you say?
Like, were
Anyway,
you
what are the
doing
three?
it to not put
Oh,
on
okay.
weight because you were eating quite a
Yeah,
fair amount of
yeah,
food?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's kind of a bit of
Slow down that
everything.
weight gain.
Yeah, and obviously to keep fit as well, because I was like, well, I've been doing that for me as well. So I remember this one time, so I work at a gym and it was like up the road. I had a car service appointment up at Mitsubishi.
Yep.
So like other end of Evan Park, Evan Park Rail. So I drove my car up, I ran back to the gym, which I thought was fine. Like it was absolutely fine. I remember at that point I was like, ooh, something's not quite right. I don't feel
And
great.
this was still before prep.
Oh yeah, this
Yeah.
is well, yeah, yeah. This was like probably halfway
Well into
from
off season.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Um, so I ran back to the gym and I was like, "Well, something doesn't quite feel great. Maybe it's just like a little bit of tightness or whatever. Like maybe, maybe overdone it a little bit." Anyway, I still ran back to go get my car. So I ignored that first thing. Got my car, whatever. Didn't really think too much of it. And then, I think I probably maybe stopped running for a little bit there. Anyway, so fast forward into I'm now in prep and I'm getting to the point where and on I again, it wasn't until I had kind of like looking back at it now, I'm like, "You are such an idiot. Why did you not go to a fucking doctor well and truly before this it got
Mm.
to this point?" I couldn't
I
like
think it was sorry to interrupt. I think
no,
it was probably just a bit of, like, what's that word I'm looking for?
denial.
Yeah, denial
Yeah.
because you're like you want to get to stage and you're excited to go into this prep and
Yeah.
go into that phase.
Yeah.
So you're like, "Oh, I can't focus on the fact that I could be injured right
Yeah.
now." So you just put it on the back burner. You're like, "Oh, it can't be that bad if I'm
Yeah.
still walking and I can still train."
Yeah.
And
And that's the
yeah.
thing, right? Like I was still training, I was still walking. I tried to run a few times. I did. I got to the point where there was just a few days I remember trying to like um just run like down to the pool and I could not and I was like, okay, this is the point where I was like, something's not right. Like it's actually fucked. I tried to get massages and stuff like that to like because I thought, oh, maybe
Hoping
it's
it's
just a
just
little bit of like,
muscular.
yeah,
Yeah.
or like a tendon or something like that. Some
Mm.
tendonitis. That's what I was like. It's just a bit of tendonitis, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Again, obviously not really fully knowing. So I think it was a bit of a combination of all this over time, putting on weight, still trying to run, weight bearing, doing all the things. I think that's kind of what actually caused it, rather than, "Oh, it was just prep that did it." Because I
Mm.
don't think that it was prep. I think it was just a combination of all these things. It was just me not really thinking about the actual consequences of my actions.
Yeah, but then obviously prep probably exacerbated those
Yes,
feelings. Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So the weird thing was, and this is kind of why I thought it was just more so a tendonitis thing, and I still don't really understand this to the day, but I always felt so much better after I trained lower body. So after I trained
Yeah,
glutes.
interesting.
So I would be in pain and then I would train and then I would be sweet for the rest of the day. Like I would be no pain whatsoever for the rest of the day. So I'm like, okay, I think that it's just like some tendonitis. I just got to kind of work it, warm it up, do whatever. But I was like limping. I remember like trying to get out. So, when you go and pee, obviously being in prep, you go and pee overnight time. I would literally, like, have to, like, hold on to the edge of the bed and, like, walk myself the first few kind of maybe, like, 10 steps from being, like, non-weight bearing, so either sitting down or laying down were, like, I coulda just collapsed on the ground.
Yeah, wow.
And still, I never actually thought anything from like, how stupid can someone be? But
But like I
anyway.
said, I think you were just in
It was
denial.
just absolute denial. I was like, and just again, same thing. When you're in prep, you're just like, this is what I have to do, and this is exactly what I'm gonna
Yeah.
do. So, anyway, so I went to the doctor and I was like, this, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, okay, I'm gonna send you for an MRI straight away. And I was like, all right, whatever. MRI, okay. Like that's like the gold standard, right? Like it'll tell you if it's tendon, it'll tell you if it's ligament, it'll tell you if it's muscle, bone, whatever. So I go in there, go to PRP, get my little scan. It freaking cost an arm and leg. So because it was both, it was like I think it was like 350 for
It's like,
one.
come on,
So
it's like
you're there.
Yeah, like
why is it so expensive?
can't you give me
Anyway.
a 2-for-1 deal?
Yeah,
Like
literally, yeah. So I had to get both, like, MRIs done. Sorry, yeah, 2 MRIs done on my hips. And then I remember coming out of the MRI and the guy at, like, PRP was like, "Oh, like, this is a very interesting, like, injury that you have." And I was like, "Oh, yeah? What is it?" And he's like, "Oh, it's commonly seen in, like, dancers." And I was like, "Oh, that's a bit interesting, like, dancers hip or something," is what I'm thinking, which is more, tendonitis, whatever. Um, anyway, so whatever. He was like, "Look, I can't actually
they
tell
can't
you,
tell you, yeah.
blah, blah, blah," but he's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." Like, and mind you though,
I would have started to freak out then. I would
this
have been like,
yeah.
"Tell me right
What do
now
you
what's
mean?
wrong."
Yeah. So mind you, earlier in the day, I trained legs, so I felt great. I was like, "Yeah, I'm not in any pain right now at all. Like, I'm fine." Um, I think I had literally pressed like, I don't know, 160 kilos or something like that on leg press or whatever. And so anyway, so go home, do whatever. I think I was working or whatever, and I get a call from the doctor, and he was like, "You need to go to hospital immediately, but you cannot drive yourself." I was like, "What does
I
that
would
mean?"
have been freaking out.
So
I was
again,
spiraled. I would have
yeah.
been Googling, like, "I've got 3 weeks left to live." Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was like, "What do you
that's
mean?"
terrifying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Do not drive yourself. You need to go to the hospital immediately." He's like, "You need to sit down right now," because he was like, "If you keep standing, you're gonna like, your hips are
It just
gonna
went
buckle." And I was like,
she'll fold over like a
yeah,
chair.
I was like, "Brother, I literally, like, trained, like, 5 hours ago.
Yeah,
What do
that's
you mean?" And this
wild.
is why, like, I couldn't actually comprehend what I was able to do physically compared to what they were saying, and that's what
Yeah.
really got me. I'm like, "If I
You're
can
like, "It
do
can't be
that,"
that."
yeah, if
Yeah.
I can hip thrust,
Mm.
60 kilos or whatever, like, on the machine, if I can RDL and do all these kind of things, like, walking, I'm fine. I'm sweet, surely. Anyway, so obviously I ignored the doctor and just drove myself to the hospital. And I drove myself and I said, "Oh, look," I was like, "Look," and I think again, because I was just in denial, I was just like, "Whatever, like the doctor doesn't know." Right, they definitely do know. Mind you, keep in mind that I was in prep and you think you're invincible and you're an idiot. Anyway, so I went to Shellharbour Hospital and I was like, "Look, I've had
Did you drive
MRI."
yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Everyone was at work. I'm not gonna friggin' I'm not gonna pay for an ambulance, absolutely
Yeah,
not, when I'm
no.
literally, like, 2-minute drive away. And yeah, I'm not gonna get anywhere else here. Anyway, so I'm messaging Jamie, I'm like, "I have to go to hospital apparently, whatever." And then he's like, "What?"
I'll
He's
be
freaking
fine.
out, yeah. He's like, "I'll come home." I'm like, "No, no, you're sweet, like, just chill out there, it's fine." Just nothing. So anyway, so I waited there for hours
Mm.
and because they had obviously got the scans and everything like that, and they're like, "We're gonna transfer you through to to Wollongong." So we're waiting on patient transfer, and I like, it just keeps getting worse. I just look so stupid. I waited too long.
Disclaimer, disclaimer,
Yeah,
disclaimer.
there's so many disclaimers, like, do not do this. I waited so long and I was like, "Fuck this. I'm sick of waiting. I'm going home. I'll go to Wollongong tomorrow after my sessions." After my PT session. So, again, keep
Sorry,
in
this
mind
is wild coming from a coach.
I know, it's so bad.
I swear, guys, she's a good coach.
I'm a good
She
coach,
wouldn't
I'm just a really
she
bad
wouldn't
athlete.
tell you to do this.
Not in any way, yeah, do not do this at all. So, yeah, so that's what I meanwhile, I'm, like,
So you went
nagging all
home
of
and
my
then you
clients.
trained the next morning and then went to hospital.
No, I think I don't think
She
I
ran home
trained.
from the
Yeah,
hospital.
yeah, I ran home. No, I don't think I trained the next day because I just think I had just PTs, like, all morning.
Yeah.
So I finished my last PT at, like, 12 o'clock, and then I waddled off to to Wollongong Hospital. I was like, "Hi." Also, when I got home, like, it was, like, 8 o'clock at night or something, and Shellharbour rings me, and they're like, "Where'd you
Where
go?"
are
And
you?
I was like, "I told the lady I was leaving, like, I'm not sticking around." And they're like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "Okay." I wasn't admitted or anything, so it was like,
Yeah.
fine,
You're not leaving against
Yeah,
medical
exactly.
advice.
Yeah, I mean, I was, but yeah. So yeah, so anyway, so I go into Wollongong, and I think once I saw the specialist here and he mentioned surgery, that's finally the point that I started to freak out. And I was like, "What do you mean?" So I'm sitting there, they get my bloods and all this kind of stuff, and they're like, "Okay, the specialist is gonna come around and see you." Like, no worries, sweet." Like, again, just thinking, "Oh, he'll be like, just go home, you just rest up. Don't train for a couple of days or something." Yeah, anyway, so
Couple of
then
days.
yeah, a couple of days, yeah. So then go I just kinda wait around, he comes and sees me, and he's like, "Look, what you have is very severe. You have a very high risk of actually fracturing your hips, and if that happens, we have to get a total hip replacement." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "Wait, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean?"
And both
Well,
too.
and
Yeah.
both, right? So I think one was worse than the other. I think my left was worse than my right, but by ever so slightly. Like, and like that makes sense because my left was always so much painful as well. And he's like, "What we're thinking of doing is completing what's called like a stabilization surgery. So pretty much put a bunch of pins and shit in. Like that's and he's like, But because it's both, he's like, it's very rare that it's both hips. Like this is kind of where the discussion is between, a bunch of specialists and stuff." And I was like, I called my mom and I was like,
Yeah,
and then
'cause you hear the
I
word
started
surgery
crying.
and it's
Yeah, like I
scary.
actually
Yeah.
started crying at that point, and that was the point where I was like, "Oh shit, okay, this is actually
This is
serious."
serious.
So, anyway, so he that what they were gonna do because no they couldn't really decide on what to do then and there. They wanted to do like a case conference about it. So a bunch of different specialists come together and they discuss it and all that kind of stuff. See what the best possible outcome is, but like obviously risk versus, reward type situation.
Mm.
So he's like, um, you like go home, don't do anything, and you're gonna come back in a week's time and then we'll have decided on what we're gonna do then. I'm pretty sure it was roughly about that. So they're like, "Come back to, like, the fracture clinic or whatever, and, we'll kind of decide what we're gonna do then." So I canceled my clients. I actually did what I was supposed to. I'm pretty sure they gave me crutches at that point. They're like, "Do you want a wheelchair or crutches?" And I'm like, "I'm absolutely not having a wheelchair. Thank you very
Yeah,
much. I
I'll
will
get
have the crutches." But again, because it was both, I had to not weight bear on both of my legs. So that's obviously a little bit difficult. But anyway, I managed.
just flying through the
Yeah, I'm
air
just
on the
like,
crutches.
"Woo!" So I went home, yeah, canceled all my clients. I think I lasted like 2 days without going to the gym. Again, I can do upper body. Everything in my upper body is fine. It's
So at
just
this
my
point,
hips.
you hadn't dropped out of prep, like, you were still or, like, as
I
soon as you
think I
found out.
messaged yeah, because I messaged my coach and I was like, so I think it was yeah, once I had gone, like, to the Wollongong hospital and the specialist had said, "Look, like, you have to not wait there for, like, a long time." I was like, "Okay, well, I can't really do anything."
But
Like,
that was
I
good that
wasn't
you,
even
like,
allowed
came
to
to
walk.
like, you weren't more in denial, like, you came to terms straight away and was
Yeah.
like, "This is what I need to do to
Yeah,
get better."
yeah, and I
Yeah.
think, like, again, when you're there was something in this, like, the back of my mind to be like, "You're not okay, like, you're not okay," but I was just ignoring it. I was
Yeah.
like, "It's fine." So, again, think like so I started prep at, say, for example, 22 weeks out, I think, and I think I was halfway. So I was either 10 or 11 weeks into prep. I had 10 weeks to go. So, I think long enough to be like, I've made decent change and everything, but then still long enough to, like, out to not be like, my whole life has been wasted and I'm going through a whole
Yeah, you're not,
spiral and
like, 3
everything.
weeks out.
Yeah.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, so I messaged my coach and I was like, "Look, like, we're just gonna have to cancel. Like, I'm gonna have to pull out, whatever. This recovery is gonna be a lot, blah, blah, blah." Like, they were telling me that I wouldn't be able to they were actually telling me don't weight bear for I think it was like, eh, maybe like 6 weeks at a time, like 6-week chunks. So it'd be
Mm.
like the first 6 weeks, come back, whatever, did another MRI to see how it's healing, and it was just kinda like incremental like that.
So you went back from the week so you went home for a week and then you went back and saw the doctors
Yeah,
and they said
they
no
said no
surgery?
surgery because they said with it
Were you like,
being
"Thank God."
both the relief. I was like, "Absolutely not." They wanted to admit me into hospital that day, and I was like, "There is no need for me to be in hospital right now.
Mm.
Like, I promise you I won't do anything when I go. Like, I'll get home once I drive myself home." I was like, "I will just chill out. I won't do anything." And they were like, "Okay." And obviously that's at the end of the day, yes, that is my choice. And I remember talking like, crying to mum, I'm like, "I don't wanna stay here, like, this place is horrible."
Yeah.
Meanwhile, there's
They're
people
not
in no,
nice.
and, like, there's people in the waiting room that are, like, in absolute physical
Agony, yeah.
agony. I'm like, "I'm not gonna take up a bed when I'm
No.
just chilling here, like,
Yeah.
absolutely not." Anyway, so, yeah, so that's kind of the timeline of it. And then, yeah, it was just that slow recovery, but I will say, like, as stubborn as I am and annoying as I wouldn't be where I am today rehab-wise if it wasn't for myself and that stubbornness because
Mm.
the doctors didn't do shit.
Mm.
I was weight bearing for like 8 weeks, and then one of the specialists was like, "Oh, you can start weight bearing now," and like, wait, just walking, and I was like, "I've been doing that for 6 weeks already,
Mm.
like 8 weeks already, like, what do you mean?" Like,
Can
"Oh."
can we go back to sorry to rewind you. like, how did you feel when you did, like, you were like, "That's it, I'm not gonna make a stage."
Yeah,
Like,
I think
did it
well,
affect you? Like, were you sad?
I think I was sad. Absolutely, I was sad because, like, you put in so much effort and time and all the things. But at the same time, I think I was somewhat relieved
Mm.
because it meant that there was an explanation for my pain, but also it meant that it was severe enough for me to not have to keep pushing.
Yeah, and you could
Whereas
focus purely on getting
just
better.
recovering,
Yeah.
yeah. Whereas I think, like, if obviously, clearly, I'm a stubborn motherfucker, but I think that if it was just something like a tendonitis or whatever, I would have just kept pushing
Mm.
and just been in pain the whole time,
Yeah.
which is not ideal, obviously, in any way. Um, yeah, it's so tricky because, like, obviously, when you've decided to do a prep and you've decided to step on stage, like, that's such a big thing that you have to kinda come to terms with mentally as well.
Mm.
Like, it's such a big even though, no, it's not, I'm not it's a big thing that you kinda have to, like, understand that you're doing. It's more about, like, the effects of prep as far as tiredness, the fatigue, the moodiness, all that kinda stuff. Like, yes, you're obviously gonna have to do more and eat less and whatever, that's kinda standard, but it's the rest of it that kinda comes into play, and I think that once you decide that, it's like, "Okay, now I'm doing everything that I can to
Yeah.
to get to the stage," and that's your
Locked in.
entire goal.
Yeah.
But I do think that there was a little bit of, like, I'm gonna say relief, um, because, yeah, it meant that it was bad enough that I had to actually stop.
Yeah.
And then I think that's when I truly realized what I had actually been going through in the last, say 10-ish weeks or whatever. Um, yeah, so that's kinda interesting to reflect back on,
Now can
but
I ask you, did you get takeaway that night when
oh, no,
you
on my way home, you better believe I stopped in at fucking 7-Eleven and got me a packet of donuts. I was on the phone to my mum, and she's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Eating donuts." And she's like, "Okay, good." But I think that's the only thing that I did because it was more just like I was sad. I was very
Yeah, did
sad,
you, like,
but
go
also
in
scared at the same time.
now in that time that you were, like, recovering, did you go into any unhealthy eating habits? 1, because you can't do much, like, you can't train, you can't exercise. 2, were you, you're disappointed
Yeah,
and you're like, you haven't eaten for the last 10 weeks,
yeah,
takeaway and anything, like, did you
yeah.
fall into any sort of binge
No,
habits or
no.
anything like
I
that?
think 'cause I was so again, right, so I'd lost, say, for example, like 6 or 7 kilos, maybe 8 kilos. No, it would have been like 6 or 7 kilos. And I think in my mind, I was like, I don't wanna go too far back and put all that weight back on because A,
Mm,
I've worked so hard for it. B, I can't move as much as I did before. So the
mm.
one thing that I can actually control is my food,
Is you eating? Yeah.
right? So I think that it kind of kept me in check a little bit. Like, yes, I definitely had those donuts that on my way home, but that was kinda like the only thing that obviously I wasn't,
Yeah,
on
because
plan.
if you're just gonna sit there and watch
And
TV and eat,
yeah.
you're just gonna gain weight
Yeah,
because you're not
absolutely,
doing any
yeah.
exercise.
Yeah, exactly. So, I think, oop,
Sorry if you guys can hear that, there's a car alarm
I
going
think
off.
hopefully the thing will cut it out. Yeah, so I think that that's kind of like was good in a way because it did kinda keep me in check. And again, right, the food side of things, it's not totally different when you're in prep to off season. It's just, okay, I'm not
Mm,
gonna go out and eat
it's just
shit, right?
less, yeah.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing was just the fact that, like, obviously being a bikini competitor, glutes are such a big part of it. So I wasn't able to actually train lower body for, I think it was like 3 to 4 months,
Yeah, that's
which is
crazy.
crazy for a bikini athlete, like, absolutely not. So I think I trained like 4 days, 3 or 4 days, and it was all just obviously upper body, but I would, like, break it up, like, shoulders and then back, and then shoulders
Yeah.
and back, and then I would I would
Oh, here we go,
do
what else did she do? She's doing hip thrusting,
because
300
yeah.
kilos.
Because, again, we like so thinking about everything to do with cardio, it's all lower body focused, right? But we have a we have what's it called? The bike? What's the
Elliptical?
no, the, assault bike. We have an
Oh,
assault
yeah.
bike at the gym.
Oh, I remember seeing you on
Yeah,
that.
everyone, and I'm fucking doing these
Her
ones.
arms are looking shredded too because all she's training.
Yeah, looking jacked, but also
Legs are down straight.
yeah, I'm just like they had the little pedals that you just sit there, and I'm just fucking throwing my body around, and I remember, like, obviously I didn't care, right? I was just like, "I'm coming to do hit, like, whatever." It was the only thing that I could actually do. And then I remember one of the, other trainers took a video of me and sent it to me, and he's like, "This is what you look like." I'm like, "Oh my god, how embarrassing."
You were going hard.
I
Like,
was
I
a
remember
psycho. Yeah, and I'm just, like, going so I just did, like, hit stuff. I would do, like, I don't know, 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off or
Yeah.
whatever. But yeah, fuck, it was so funny. I'm like, "Oh, you know what? Whatever." Like, at least I'm not getting fat.
Yeah, well, like, you could have gone into, you could have very easily spiraled, gone into a whole depressive, crawled into a shell and felt sorry for yourself and not
Absolutely.
trained and been like, you
Because
know
thinking about it, like, competing is my identity, and, like, I love training, and I love pushing myself, and from going from extreme of prep to not really being able to do anything, that was such a hard thing to kinda have to manage. I fully think that I dealt with it pretty well, like, I wasn't, like, crying or like, it was the only time that I cried was when I was in hospital, and they were like, "You're gonna need surgery," and I was calling my mum. That was the only time I cried. The rest of it was much more frustration,
Yeah.
and it was like yeah, it was just people being like, "Should you be doing that? Like, where are your crutches? Use your crutches or whatever." And I'm
Mm.
like, "Yes, I get it, but, like, sometimes it's just fucking annoying." And
Yeah.
it was so frustrating, and I was frustrated, and I think when other people were kind of, like, putting that on me, I'm like, "I get it. Like, I understand, but, like, just fuck off."
Yeah,
Like,
let
and
me
that's
just do
kind of
my own
where
thing.
I was, like, frustrated, and that's kinda, I
But she
think,
was
where the
taking it out
emotional.
on the assault bike handles.
Yeah, I absolutely was, yeah, 100%.
How did you feel, when it came to the time that you would have gotten on stage? Like, were you watching the girls and you were a
Yeah.
bit like,
That should have
"That
been
should have been
me.
me?"
Yeah,
Like, did you
yeah,
feel a bit
yeah.
of FOMO?
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. I remembered, yeah, like, I was watching the live stream, and I was just like, "Oh," like, that kinda sucked. But,
Mm.
also at the same time, like, knowing full well that I would absolutely get back on that stage. Like, there was
Yeah.
no stopping me. Like, yeah.
You had another plan, like, it was recover and
Yeah.
then obviously start training glutes
Yeah,
again, like
yeah, like, I knew that it was gonna be a long process, but at the same time, I'm like, there is nothing that's not gonna let me get back on that
yeah,
stage. Because at the end of the day, it's bone and it heals and they're good, right?
yeah,
Like, I think that mentality that I kind of carried throughout it was probably, one of the better things that like, yeah, I didn't just kind of like, I didn't spiral. I didn't just let it completely just take over my world and me go into a deep, dark depression because A, I did what I could still. I still trained. I still ate reasonably healthy. Like, I still did all the things that I would normally do. It's just I just couldn't train the whole body. And I
mm,
had to walk with fucking crutches the whole time. But I went back to work after a week. Like, I just said to my clients, "Hey, probably put your own weights on the machines," and even though I still try it every now and again. Like, stop it. But yeah,
but it happens, like, people drop out of prep all the
yeah,
time
exactly.
and
Yeah,
for their
for
own
far less
individual
things.
reasons, and I
Yeah,
feel like it can be quite difficult. Not that I've, done it, but I can understand how difficult it can be to even make that decision
yeah, oh, yeah,
because you think, like, whether it's for injury purposes or it's for mental health reasons
yeah,
or anything,
definitely.
financial, anything,
Yeah,
I think that it can be really hard because you've made this testament and you've put it out there, like, even on social media, and you've said, "I'm committing to the next 6 months, like, I'm doing this prep, I'm gonna get on stage,"
yeah,
and you don't wanna be viewed as, like, a
failure.
failure to
Yeah.
people because people are looking up to you and going, "Oh my god,
You're
how do you
amazing.
do
How do
that?
you do
That's
that? Yeah.
amazing."
And that's the thing, there's so much external pressure that you don't
Mm.
really realize is there. But I think at the end of the day, like, the decision was made for me. I
Yeah.
didn't make the decision. So
Yeah.
it's kind of a little bit like, yeah, it's different compared to other people that do have to make that decision for themselves. And I think honestly, sounds a little bit odd, but I think that's probably the better way. I would rather the decision be made for me
Yeah.
because clearly I don't put myself first
Yeah.
and I wouldn't.
But
Like,
I think it's totally okay to make that decision if you have
100%.
to make it. Like, if you are
It's an
obviously
extreme thing
yeah,
that you're
obviously there's
doing.
a point of, you know, where you are going to be in the dumps and you're gonna be down and you're gonna be like struggling, but you kind of have to there's kind of this point where it becomes too much, like, and it can
Yeah.
be too unhealthy and it's
Yes.
really genuinely impacting your life,
Yeah.
like, mentally
You're
or, like I said,
properly just
financially.
depressed. Yeah,
But I think
exactly.
obviously try and talk to people first before
Yeah.
you just make that jump decision to be like,
I'm done. I
I'm
quit.
quitting," like,
Yeah.
because it could just be a moment. Like, I had a
Yes.
moment a few weeks ago where I was just feeling really down for, like,
Yeah.
a week, and then now I'm just having a bit of a lack of motivation,
Yeah.
but it's not
I'm not
it's gonna
doing it.
pass.
Yeah,
Like, I'm not
exactly.
in the dark, deep hole and going,
Yeah.
"I need to quit prep right now."
Yeah.
But if you get to that point,
It's
talk
so
to your coach,
okay.
talk to
Yeah.
other competitors, talk to people that you know that may have had to quit a prep or
Yeah.
have had an injury and have had to leave because it's okay.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Like, it is
The
totally okay
stage
to
will
not go through with a prep.
always be there.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have to be right now, and it doesn't mean that you're a failure. It doesn't mean anything. It's
Mm.
just not the right time, and it's
Yeah.
so fine. Like, yeah,
And who cares what other people say and what other people think? Like, if people are like, "Oh, you weren't tough enough to stick it out," or
yeah, no,
like, it's not. Nobody knows how you're feeling
yeah,
internally, and you have to do what's right for you. And if you do push through those feelings of like, if go 6 weeks from 6 weeks out, you feel like dropping out the whole time, and then you do go through with it and get on stage, 1, you're probably gonna have a shitty stage experience, so you'll
yeah.
never wanna do it again. 2, you're
Or you'll
probably
have
gonna
a
have a crappy
post.
post-show
Yes.
experience
Yeah.
because you couldn't wait for it to be over and
Yeah.
you wished it was over sooner, so then you're probably way more likely to get into binge eating
Yeah.
or, you know, not
Being a
go to the
or
gym
yeah,
and
exactly, hate
yeah,
training and
resent the gym.
yeah,
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 and like I said, never get on stage again.
yeah.
So it's definitely something that not a lot of people probably talk about
Oh, no, for sure, and I think
because
yeah,
people
because 'cause
feel
you're like, "Oh, it's
ashamed.
just g like, just do it, just go through it," and I think
Mm.
that's such a big mentality that competitors have is just keep like, yeah, it's hard, but just keep going, and it's so not let me tell you, it's not worth
I
it
think
in
there's a
any
fine
way.
line of push through because 100% in prep, you have to push through a
Oh,
lot of
yeah. Oh,
feelings,
yeah,
but
for
there's a
sure.
fine line of pushing through because you should and pushing through because you feel like
Feel like
you
you
should
should. Yeah,
because
yeah.
of other people.
Other people, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, 100%. No, I think it's, yeah. Also, again, like, depending on what it is, it's also like, okay, how do we manage it? And the only way that you can do that is through talking to your coach or other people. Like, I've got a
Yeah.
client right now and we are managing an injury, like, full transparency, but we're managing it and it's not to the point where we're like, okay, we need to kind of pull out. She's 5 or 6 weeks out. There's still things that we can adjust. Like, if it means that we have to stop doing cardio, like, that's fine. We'll just drop food a little bit more. But she's like, "No, I wanna keep going," and I'm like, "Okay." Again, it's up to me as the coach to kinda go and assess it, and if it was to the point where it's, like, detrimental to her health, then, yeah, I'd probably say, "Hey, we probably have to pull it." But it's not, and it's okay, and we have, like, we're she's seeing a physio and a doctor and all that kind of stuff, so there's as long as you're in that kind of, like, collaborative space with
Mm.
your coach and, whoever needs to be, then it's okay, like, it's yeah,
Yeah, or if
but
it's, like, food related, your
food
coach
related,
could
yeah,
just one day give you a slight bump in calories or a
exactly.
slight
You might
refeed.
just need a refeed and
Yeah,
feel $1,000,000.
or you might just need a change of meal, like,
Yeah,
it could
yeah.
be something like you're so
Something to be
over your
excited
fish
to.
and rice that
Yeah.
you just need chicken and rice
Yeah.
instead,
Yeah,
like
and it's, like, the best thing ever.
yeah,
Yeah,
try and implement the small changes or do what you can to manage it, and
yeah,
then if it doesn't do anything, then reassess again and be like, "Is it really worth it?"
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because prep is amazing and the stage experience is amazing, but it's not worth sacrificing your
Your
mental health
entire
or
yeah,
your
exactly.
physical health as
Yeah.
well.
Oh,
It's not
yeah,
worth it.
no, it's not. And like I said, it will always be there. There will always be a next show and yeah, I
Like, there's
follow
women that are 65 and
oh,
compete.
yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
there's no, like, "Oh, I'm
There's
getting
no
too
limit.
old for this." Like,
Oh, no.
no.
No, not at
There's
all.
masters categories and things like that
Yeah,
for a
exactly.
reason.
Yeah, exactly. I follow a girl called, Holly Baxter, and she's big on, like do you know who that is?
No, I
She's
haven't
Australian,
seen
but she
her.
lives over in America. She used to do FMG, but now she does IFBB. She's a pro. She is big on, like, still going out and enjoying meals and obviously she is very experienced when it comes to tracking calories and
Mm.
estimating and all the things, but she literally became an IFBB pro off, um, like, calorie matching. So she still ate out, she did all the things. She got lean enough.
Like, she'd still say what, like, go to Subway, but just, like,
So it's
match the
like she would go
calories or
yeah,
things
yeah.
like
So
that.
she would go
Yeah.
out to dinner and she would like,
Yeah, like a steak
yeah,
and
like
yeah.
steak and whatever. And so she was still enjoying her life and doing all the things like having date nights with her partner and stuff like that. But also she's been competing for like 15 years or
Yeah.
something like that, like a crazy amount of time. Um Not saying that obviously don't do that,
Yeah.
but at the same time, there's also though, I'm fully transparent, there's also girls that do that and still fucking look amazing. So like your
Yeah.
body some people's bodies, let me just tell you, one of the girls that I competed with on, at the last season, the natural show, she was eating so much
I
food.
know. And,
The
like and there's
the
people that are
week
like, "Oh, I
before,
haven't
the
done
day
an ounce
before
of cardio and I'm only doing 5,000 steps a day." It's
yeah.
like, "Oh,
Oh, that's
cool.
nice for
Good
you.
for you."
Like, some people are just so like, their bodies just respond no matter what.
Yeah.
And, like, this girl was eating like, packets of chips, like, pastries and stuff the day
Oh,
before she was stepping up, and I was like, there with my 3
She's
rice
living the
cakes and my
dream.
10 grams of honey. I'm like,
Yeah.
"What's that like?" And I literally were in the lineup and I was like, "I just smell that bag."
Yeah.
And her coach was like, "Here you go." And I was like, "Oh, yeah." But yeah, like it just goes to I don't know how we got onto that, but yeah. Um, I think the biggest thing though is, yeah, just understanding and not kinda letting yourself like, you if you do have an injury or whatever it is, like, it's not forever, and as long as you just do what you need to do and you work hard and you have that end goal in mind, like, you'll be fine.
Mm.
There's no reason to just completely give up on everything in life and
No.
just go into a deep, dark, depressive hole because that's A, it's not gonna help you in any way. B, it doesn't, like, result in anything different either. Probably worse, if anything,
Yeah.
but
And,
yeah.
like, the same as what you do in prep when you focus on yourself and your own journey, if you do decide to drop out, still do the same thing. Don't listen to the outside noise if
Yeah.
people are telling you, "Oh, like, as if you gave up," or "You're
Mm.
soft because you gave up." Stay in your own lane.
Yeah.
Like, stick to like, you have the discipline there, obviously, because you went into a prep.
Yeah.
So just keep that same discipline,
Yeah.
focus on your journey. Don't listen to the
Don't
outside
listen.
noise.
And just think, like, if this was, like, your best friend and she was going through the exact same
Mm.
thing, like, there's no way you're gonna say that kind of shit about her, so why would you think that about
Yeah, you wouldn't
yourself?
say stick it out, like,
Yeah.
have
Get
some
over it.
concrete, like
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
yeah.
Yeah, very, yeah,
At the
understanding.
end of the day, you just have to do what's right for you.
100%. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So anyway, so there are still some things that I can't do. Like I can't really do much squatting movement. It's just more uncomfortable and I think I still have a bit of like that fear there.
Mm.
But also I don't need to do that kind of stuff. Like
No.
I'm a bikini athlete. I need to do hip thrusts
We're
and
not doing
RDLs
barbell
and
squats,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. And abduction stuff and kickbacks. And
Yeah.
that's kind of the so I stick to pretty much like I'm gonna say like maybe 6 different movements for lower body. Um, but hey, the movements work for me and I stepped back
Yeah.
on stage with a little bit of a booty. So
Yeah, she did it, so
so considering I didn't train for like 3 or 4 months lower body and still was able to get up on stage
yeah,
with
100%.
a slight resemblance of a glute. But yeah,
Well, thanks so much for talking about
yeah.
your journey and having an experience, which makes you a better
And
coach as
yeah,
well,
yeah,
because
definitely. 'Cause
you've experienced what it's like
I've
to
gone
have
through
an
the
injury,
stupidest.
having to leave a prep. You can
Yeah,
talk from experience, so
yeah.
it just makes like, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
100%, 100%, and it just kind
Everything's
of
a learning
puts
lesson.
oh, definitely, yeah, for sure, and yeah, I think, again, that just learn from me and don't put anything
Don't run 10Ks
yeah,
a
yeah,
day.
don't run 10Ks a day, idiot, and then put on a bunch of weight and then keep running and think that it's, like, all gonna be okay, but also, again, like, so much more important to get that healthy body weight back on
Mm,
post-show because then it like, levels out your hormones and it
mm.
brings you out of that low energy availability that causes the low bone mineral density and
Yeah.
all the things. Like there's so many things that I think as natural athletes it's probably not really spoken about all too much. It's just the fatigue and all that kind of stuff that, we've obviously previously mentioned. But inside, the hormones that are happening, the effects on like our actual internal health is yeah, it's
Your
something
body's
that you
going through
don't
a lot.
it's going through a lot and you have to just be so patient. And all we think about is what we look on the outside. We need to be so much more appreciative of what's actually happening on the inside, I feel
Oh,
like.
yeah, definitely.
But yeah, anyway. So yeah, that's my story. Don't do as I do as I say because I'm stupid and it meant that I couldn't train for however long. But yeah,
We're here now.
we're here
You
now.
got through it.
We're able to hip thrust
Came
again
out the
and
other side.
yeah, yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, do
Anyway,
you have anything else to say?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think
I
that's
think
pretty
that
much
was
everything.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks guys so much for listening. If you have
Thank
any
you.
questions about Beck's journey
Yeah,
or
my
you're going
experience.
through the same thing,
Oh, please reach out.
yeah.
Even if you're not too sure, like, it's just better to go and get it sussed out and just don't brush it off because, yeah, it's so stupid. I'm so stupid. But I've learnt my lesson and I'm a better
You've
coach and athlete
reflected,
now.
yeah.
I definitely wasn't like this in my last prep, so it's all good.
Well, thanks guys so much for listening,
Yeah, thank
and
you.
we'll be in your ears
Next week.
next week.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.